The immigration 25% cut, is that enough, Pauline?
Well, he said it'd be cut to what? What figures? We've had different figures over the last couple of years, the numbers that have come into the country. So, you know, 1.5 million we brought into the country, unsustainable. I put a figure around about 130,000 a year until we sustain everything with housing and people aren't living in their cars and people can access doctors, hospitals, nursing homes, and it's not overcrowding our educational system. What I think Peter Dutton's looking at between 140 to 160,000. I think that's fine, no problem with it. He'll get our support in the Senate if we get the balance of power, which is important. If One Nation gets the balance of power in the Senate to look at the legislation either party puts up and vote on what is in the best interest for the Australian people.
And talk to me about that, Pauline, getting that balance of power. What are you looking for out of this forthcoming election?
Well, I think the main thing is in the Senate to increase our numbers in the Senate with the Senate seats right across the country. Just inform people, the last election we came 7th. There was only 6 seats up, we pulled the 7th seat. But we didn't get these people elected to Parliament. We need your #1 vote in the Senate to actually get that balanced power. If we end up with Labor and Greens and some of the crossbench, Jackie Lambie, David Pocock, Fatima Payman, well, Jackie Lambie and David Pocock's up this time. They vote most of the time with the Greens and Labor. That's over 80% of the time. David Pocock and Jackie Lambie have been responsible for guillotining bills, which is around about 230 bills that were guillotined. We couldn't discuss or debate. There was no accountability. It was rushed through the Parliament and they were responsible for it, supporting the Greens and the Labor government. One Nation will be there to look at what's fair and just for the people, for the country and good policy.
Now, Pauline, I want to talk briefly about superannuation. Peter Dutton last night promised to allow young Australians to access up to $50,000 from their super to buy a first home, which is excellent. At the same time, though, hidden in Jim Chalmers' ridiculous budget, which, heaven help us, was smelt as bad as Sarah Hanson-Young's fish. But anyway, Labor intend to tax unrealised super gains. So this is still going on. That's still there in the budget. Labor intend to go after people's super. They might have assets in their superannuation that haven't earned a profit but have an unrealised profit, and Labor intends to tax that. I mean, that is socialism. That is thievery, isn't it?
Of course it is. These people, that's their money that they work for, or they put into the superannuation to actually give them a decent, standard of living when they retire from their work. But that's their money. That's not entitled to, and especially they're going to tax them on something that may not even come about. So an unrealised gain in the superannuation. That using your superannuation deposit, that was One Nation policy that the Libs have picked up. But we go further, that the money stays in your superannuation, you use that money as equity in your home. So therefore, we don't just limit it to first home buyers. Any Australian who's got that superannuation should be entitled to use that to help them with their mortgage on their house and provide for them in the time of need, not when they're past retirement and they struggled all these years or paying higher interest rates. So Dutton's picked up our fuel excise tax, which is great to see that he has done that. Both have picked up our foreign investment policy. They're only doing it for 2 years. That's only band-aiding. We go further than that. So we are, like I said, Rowan, I'm on the conservative side of politics. But if I actually do look at policy based on its merit, so whoever puts it up. But I think Dutton's on the right path. People want strong leadership. I hope he gives that strong leadership in the next few weeks because people are a bit mindful of him. Will he make the leader? I think he will. I've got a lot of time and respect for Peter Dutton. I think he will make a very good Prime Minister.
And Pauline, I've got to say, I've known you for a long time and I know you've been pushing for that fuel excise, and well done, and all those other ideas that One Nation have put forward. That's why people should be supporting you, and it's great that the Coalition have picked up on those excellent ideas. And you're right, we need Peter Dutton now in the Lodge and hopefully a big, strong One Nation support there in the Senate. Pauline Hanson, thanks so much for your time here on The World According to Rowan Dean.